Michigan has not always been the state that we know and love today. There were many factors following the Revolutionary War that affected the development of Michigan. This is an old map of the Northwest Territory. In 1787, the Northwest Ordinance was passed by the United States. With the ordinance, Western territories were created and given a process for them to become part of the Union. When an area had over 5,000 voting citizens, it officially became a territory, and a territorial council was elected. Once the population within a territory grew to 60,000 people, that territory could become a state. In 1805, Michigan reached the 5,000 voting citizens required to become a territory and officially separated from the Northwest Territory. This is a map of what the Michigan Territory looked like. The picture in the top left corner shows the area of land that made up the Northwest Territory in 1787. The picture in the top right shows the Michigan Territory when it separated from the Northwest Territory in 1805. The area in blue is the Michigan Territory. The area in orange is the state of Ohio. In 1834, the remainder of the Northwest Territory that had not been separated into states was added to the Michigan Territory, along with the land that the United States gained from the Louisiana Purchase. At this point in time, the Michigan Territory was over 1,000 miles wide, ranging from the Detroit River to the Missouri River. In the bottom right picture, the Michigan Territory is represented in blue. The area in orange represents the states of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. After Michigan became a separate territory, President Thomas Jefferson appointed William Hull to be the first territorial governor. Governor Hull had difficulties as a governor because he did not fully understand the frontier conditions of the territory. As the government began to expand, a larger building was needed for government officials to carry out their jobs. In the 1820s, Michigan's first capitol was built in Detroit. The capitol was made of brick with Greek-style columns on the front. A 140-foot tower was the prominent feature of the building. In 1805, the city of Detroit was almost completely destroyed by a fire. Judge Augustus Woodward wanted the city to be rebuilt to model the design of Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. There were large circular parks constructed with wide streets extending from them. Because of this, driving in Detroit today is much different than driving in Lansing, because Lansing was modeled after the grid system, which became very popular after Detroit was built. Here is a map of the design of downtown Detroit. Is it different from your community? The first settlers in Michigan were the French, who settled land near traditional trading posts, which are shown in yellow on the bottom right map of Michigan. When the Erie Canal opened, settlers coming from the east found it easier to travel by water. By 1859, many farm families settled in the southern counties, which are shown in orange on the upper middle map of Michigan. Eventually, settlers moved to areas near fishing posts, sawmills, rivers, and mines in the Upper Peninsula. The map shows the progression of population in Michigan. Do you notice any patterns? Early Michigan homes were log cabins. Not many people wanted to live in Michigan when it first became a territory because of the negative things that were said about the land. Edward Tiffin told President Madison that Michigan was made up of mostly swamps, lakes, and poor sandy soil. From this information, rumors were created that said the climate of Michigan caused fever and disease. In 1813, Lewis Cass was appointed as a territorial governor of Michigan by President James Madison. He held the position of governor for 18 years before he left to become the Secretary of War under President Jackson. During his time as governor, Lewis Cass tried very hard to promote the land of Michigan. He started an expedition in the upper regions of Michigan to show the fertile soil and natural resources Michigan had to offer. As more people moved to Michigan and new industries were started, the lifestyles of Michigan settlers improved. Sawmills made it possible for frame houses to be built from sawed lumber and were much fancier than the early log cabins built by settlers. The population of Michigan grew and eventually reached the 60,000 people required to become a state. On January 26, 1937, Michigan became the 26th state in the United States. 10 years after Michigan became a state, the capital was moved from Detroit to Lansing. The picture shows what the first Capitol building in Lansing looked like. In 1879, a new capitol was built by Elijah E. Myers, a famous architect of the time. This capitol is still standing today, and if you drive down Michigan Avenue in Lansing, you can see a beautiful part of our state's history, which will always remind us of the struggles the early settlers of Michigan overcame to build the great state we live in today, Michigan.